Hey, what's up? It's Chad Patrick here. Going to be doing sort of a remote interview for the Hazard Report, and was contacted by the Hazard Report regarding a product that I've made for the music industry, especially for drummers, live sound guys, and studio engineers. It's called the Drum Wallet, and I've got some questions here that I'm going to answer and hopefully give some people a little bit of insight into the product. The first question was, what inspired me most to pick up the sticks and why? To be perfectly honest, I go all the way back to infancy, believe it or not. My parents had this weird deal where they would always hear the sound from my crib when they would lay me down. It's because I would thump my right leg, so they nicknamed me Thumper, like from Bambi, and they put a little thumper above my crib, and that's actually how I used to put myself to sleep, and didn't realize it until I was probably 8 years old that I had done it all my life, when my mom told me that I had been doing it all my life. I picked up the sticks in an organized fashion in 5th grade when I was first allowed to play an instrument in school band, and some of the biggest inspiration were probably my two cousins, Daryl and Danny, that both played music. My uncle had a band, and they played with him, and I always loved the drums. I loved rhythm, and they were probably the biggest inspiration because they were the closest to me, but I loved to see the way excuse me, people reacted when drums were played, and I loved the feeling that it gave me. I loved to dance and move, and that's probably what most inspired me to pick up the sticks. You play other instruments. How has that influenced your percussion? I'm definitely more accomplished on drums and percussion than in other instruments, but I play guitar a little bit, mess around with some keyboards and some bass and some harmonica and those kinds of things. For me, I think that music is music. I think that people that make jokes about drummers not being musicians, I don't think they really get it. I think music is comprised mainly of melody and rhythm, and being what some would consider a rhythmatist, it just means that I'm a musician. I just play music on a different instrument. There are some that would argue that drums are a non-melodic instrument. I beg to differ. When you have 2 or more tones, typically 3 or more, you're able to produce melody. So as far as I'm concerned, you could have a pot, a pan, and a pot lid and make melody. It just depends, the timbre of the tones and things. Those are all different, but it all crosses over. Everything that is learned about music, you understand that it's melody and rhythm, and that's really what it comes down to. So I think that mainly my percussion and drumming background has influenced my other instruments, because I shortchanged myself for a long time, thought, well, even though I grew up with a piano in my house, well, I can't really play piano, but it turns out I can. I'm not a pianist. If you sit down next to me and you have no idea about piano, you would think, wow, this guy can play piano. If you're a piano player, you can tell that I'm not very learned on it. I'm not a solo kind of piano player, but I can play the piano enough to come up with a good rhythm and a good melody line, so I have enough ability to make music on that instrument. And mainly being a rhythm guitar stylist, I'm not a lead guitar player yet by any means, but I can make music enough to write music, and that's really what it should be all about anyway, is being able to be creative and using the skills that we have and applying that to making music. So I would say that the rhythmic approach definitely influenced the other instruments more so than the other way around. What was the inspiration behind the Drum Wallet? The inspiration behind the Drum Wallet was kind of based on an article I had seen. I believe it was in Modern Drummer, probably 15, maybe even 20 years ago. I had learned the trick about when you're getting too much over-ring or unwanted tone out of your snare drum. A lot of old jazz guys and folks in the studio would take their wallet out, open it up, and set it on the edge of the drum, and that would control the overtones. And the great thing about it is there's no adhesives involved in that, so there's nothing sticking to the head. So as soon as the drum is struck, the wallet would bounce slightly off the head, and therefore it would allow for a true attack, but the overtones that were unwanted would be cut off by that, nanosecond later of gravity pulling that mass right back down onto the head. So the inspiration for that was really, at the time, when I really started working on it, I was playing a lot of music in a lot of different styles. A guitar player can go ahead and step on a tone pedal, for example, to go to an entirely different sound for a different genre of music, and the drummer is often stuck with the same snare tone. Those of you that know music and know styles and know drummers, for example, Mick Fleetwood's snare drum sound is not Chad Sexton's snare drum sound. For example, you've got the 70s dry tone of Fleetwood Mac and the really bright reggae kind of sound that Chad Sexton would get in the band 311. So if we go from one style to the next, we really can't switch out snare drums, and the other products that are out there are all wonderful, but they did not allow me to be able to change the sound very quickly, and if I could change it quickly, I had a very difficult time changing it back. The other products just didn't allow that flexibility. I wanted the flexibility and the sound and convenience of my wallet, but I couldn't get it on the market, so I decided to create the drum wallet. It's been nearly 13 years ago from the first inception of that idea. How long did it take to develop the drum wallet? Well, like I said, about 13 years. The product's been on the market now for a little over 2 years, and we launched officially at Summer NAMM in Nashville in July of 2010, and we followed up at Winter NAMM of 2011 and also Winter NAMM in Anaheim of 2012. And we've got the product into close to a dozen countries right now, and are working on bringing it to the masses through some of the larger catalog distributors and big retailers. It's been a very challenging experience, but the development has come a very long way. There have probably been 30 different rounds of prototypes over the years, changing from manufacturer to manufacturer and working with different materials. So it's definitely been a really interesting learning process, but the product is far better, far superior than it was when it was first designed initially about 13 years ago. How was your experience at NAMM, and what was your biggest thrill? That's a fantastic question. We gained a lot of recognition at NAMM. At our first NAMM in Nashville in summer 2010, we were awarded the Best Advanced Tool for Schools Award by Symphony Publishing, which essentially recognized the ability of the drum wallet to have an impact in the educational realm, which is important to me as a teacher and drum educator as well. The NAMM experience has been fantastic. Everyone, I'd say probably 90% plus has been really excited about the project, about the product, I should say. And I admit it doesn't really get old having people tell you that you're a genius and that they're really excited for you about the product that you've created and how it's going to impact them. Some of the highlights would probably be, just some of the interactions with people that I once considered, idols of mine. People like Omar Hakim. I use his quote, it's still my favorite to this day, and I'll paraphrase, it's that's effing genius. I'm going to go ahead and stop for a quick second. We have a call. All right, hey, back at it. Back to addressing what my biggest thrill from NAMM. I think it's being accepted by your peers, and also kind of being elevated to a level of peers that I've never really considered myself that much a part of. People that are, world famous for their abilities and for the things that they've done in the industry. Experts in the field, gold album selling artists, people that have been on dozens of albums, dozens of recordings, very memorable tracks. I've been able to hand the product off to people that were very excited to get it. People, such as Alan White, who recorded the drums on John Lennon's Imagine, or, drummer for B.B. King, Tony Coleman, drummers like Brendan Buckley, who is Shakira's drummer and percussionist. So, it's been a really amazing ride. I've met some fantastic people, and really just the the kinship with other people that are kind of in the same boat that I'm in. One of the biggest, most rewarding things is to see the reaction from people that my product is made out of recycled materials, and that it's made here in the USA, and that it's really well thought out, and that it's really a passion of mine that I've had for quite some time. And it's not just the product, it's kind of the story behind it as well. That's really probably been one of the most gratifying experiences that I've taken from bringing this product to the market. And as a product developer, this is really my first product that I've taken all the way from idea to market. In the future, I don't necessarily want to do that. I would rather prefer to license things, but my experiences at NAMM have been unbelievable, and I really wouldn't change any of it. Who's been the most exciting person to work with on this project? Oh gosh, I really think that part of me wants to drop a bunch of really big, famous musician names, but I don't think those are really the most exciting people. They have many exciting things, but in relationships, I think that a lot of it has to do with people that are out there that really believe in you and really believe in the product and are really working hard to make things happen for themselves and for myself and the product simultaneously. Just today I found some new videos that I hadn't seen online from people like J.P. Bouvet, who's a Minnesota boy, and I'm from Minnesota originally. Has some videos posted about Berklee College of Music, and he's wearing the Play Drum shirt, which is a promotional item for the drum wallet. And people that are climbing and clawing their way to the top, or making a niche for themselves in the industry. Local musicians that share this passion with everybody that they meet, people that maybe aren't under the big lights and the cameras in front of 30,000 people, but maybe in front of 30 people. A lot of times those people really have a passion for what they do and for sharing, and a lot of times local musicians and people that maybe aren't internationally known yet are some of the most enjoyable to work with. We have a lot more in common than, say, I would have with somebody who's toured the world 3 or 4 times over. But then again, it's really cool to be able to hold conversation with guys like Ray Luzier, who's currently just winding up tours with Korn, and people like that. Everybody offers a different insight. So I think that some of the most exciting people to work with are those that are kind of in the same boat as me, and we're both we're all trying to find our way and find our niche, and helping each other really is the best way to do that. And as a friend of mine says, everybody goes home in a limousine. That's really the best kind of win-win goal that I have in mind for myself and for the people that enjoy and want to share my product. It's really a grassroots family, friend to friend kind of a situation. That's really, I think, the best possible scenario for everybody involved. So that's probably who I think is the most exciting to work with. How's the overall reaction been? Well, overall reaction I would say is low 90s plus, percentage of really positive reaction. A couple of people, over the years have shared, a few people have shared their ideas of how to improve the product and things. A lot of those things have been planned since the beginning of the idea, but when you bring a product to market and you're in a sole proprietorship in the situation that I am, a real small kind of situation, I think that you kind of have to start with one product, and I've already made some changes to the product to mirror my initial intentions as well as feedback from the public. The patent is in the process of going through, and have another half a dozen different products that would fall under that patent as well. A lot of people think that there's a big company behind every product that's out there on the market, but it's not necessarily true. I really enjoy working with other people who are in the same situation I am. I did research at NAMM for many years, finding people that were bringing their product to NAMM for the first time, having their first booth and their first showing, and oftentimes for a lot of people that first time is maybe their only time they're able to do it. And I've been blessed in being able to work with some people that have helped me to make it to 3 different NAMM shows so far. So hopefully I'll be able to continue that kind of tradition and be able to keep things rolling. And I don't know if that really answered that question or not. I think so. Yeah, overall reaction. I think that's about right. What's been the most surprising or gratifying response? You know, that's a fantastic question. The most satisfying responses I've gotten are from people like Mike Bennett, who played with Hilary Duff, and Richie Kotzen. He said, you know, Chad, the drum wallet saved my behind. We were on a 35-date tour in Europe and dealing with backlines that are totally out of the control of the artists that are performing. Oftentimes you have less than stellar situations, and he told me that the drum wallet saved him. What was really great is to walk down Broadway in Nashville and look through the windows at the clubs of people playing and see drummers with tape all over their snare drum and walk in there and say, hey, you know what, here's a product I've got for you that's it's going to eliminate the need to ever have to use tape on your snare drum again. And you know, a couple of guys in particular, I remember Nate Stelfa was one of them, tore his tape off on the spot, looked me in the eyes, and you know, asked me, really, does it work? And I told him absolutely. You know, tore the tape off and put it on, and you know, he's told me since that it's just been a great thing for him in the studio. And by the time I left town, the drum wallet had already been on half a dozen tracks or so by the end of the weekend. People in Nashville work fast, and they work really hard. And there's guys like Thumper Tarboro, he goes by Thumper, and he plays up to 60 hours a week. And those guys, they work hard, and they need tools that are going to help them to be able to do their job. And the drum wallet is that very thing. It allows the sound of the snare drum to actually you know, the possibilities, sonic possibilities, be doubled instead of having it crippled by tape and adhesives and things that would really cut off the tone. One of the things that I mention a lot is, would you ever see a guitarist putting duct tape on two of their strings? You just wouldn't see it, and that's why the drum wallet's really important, and it's very gratifying to hear people say that it really helps them to be as musical as possible. You know, the snare drum's one of the most dynamic instruments ever created, and to know that something that I came up with has helped people to, you know, bring their artistry to the next level, and allowing them ease and convenience, and helping to avoid, you know, back pain from trying to lean over on your throne and pick up another product off the floor that you had removed to try to change the sound. It's a really gratifying experience. So. Where do you see the drum wallet going in the future? I think the drum wallet is essentially the drummer's capo. It really does the same thing. It's easily applied and removed. It changes the tone of the product, and I think that, you know, if the number of guitarists that have capos, I think if I can have as a goal for the number or percentage of drummers that have drum wallets to equal or rival the number or percentage of guitar players that have capos, I think that's really what I'd like to do. I have all kinds of variations planned for it down the road, and I see it as a product that should be around for the rest of my life and the lives of those who come after me. I don't have any children, but if I did, or family members, whoever it is that happens to inherit the business, I think that it's something that can be around, you know, for a really long time. I haven't seen anything that can do what the drum wallet can do, and that's why I lay the claim of it being the world's greatest snare drum tone control device. And what is your vision for the future of drumming? It's a fantastic question. I think that my vision for the future of drumming is just to continue to evolve. Music is made up of 12 notes, but we all know how music has changed and continues to change and will continue to change. Art and music are mirrors and also catalysts for culture. I think that the drum set is literally only about 100 years old. It started out as, it's called the trap set, nicknamed from the word contraption, essentially taking the instruments from the marching band and allowing one drummer or one percussionist to play them all at one time. At first, the cymbals used to be called sock hats because they were down by your socks. And then they learned that, well, if we can raise those hats up to a position, call them hi-hats, that they can also be played by sticks and the feet. Those types of things, they just continue to happen. And it's definitely a challenge to bring stuff out to the market and have it protected. It's not an easy thing. It's a very expensive and tumultuous process, which I am still currently going through the grinder on. But I'm I'm very optimistic, and I'm proud of my efforts thus far. And I think that drumming is just going to continue to evolve. I think that there are certain limitations, but those limitations can always be dealt with and circumvented through innovation. And I think that's really what we need to do here in the United States, is to continue to innovate. And worldwide, but I focus particularly on the state of affairs in the country that I live in, because that is my life. And so I chose to manufacture here. I continue to manufacture here, and I will stick to that as long as humanly possible. And I'm very excited to be part of this. I love getting new trade magazines and seeing the new products, and I really am blessed to be part of this industry and an ever-evolving world of drumming. I chose to bring the drum wallet out as my first product because it was novel. There was a history in the marketplace with it. It worked. It's very simple. It's easily conveyed, and I have a lot of good sales points with it, and it's very meaningful to me. So that's kind of where I see it. I think as long as products are being made that are helpful and meaningful and innovative, I think that everything's just going to keep rolling. So this is Chad Patrick for the Hazard Report, representing the Drum Wallet, and I want to thank the Hazard Report for their interest in my product and in my views, and I wish them the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be seeing everybody soon in the back of that limo that we talked about. Peace, love, and paradiddles. Remember, the Drum Wallet keeps you in the pocket. Oh yeah, and here's what it looks like in the package. Check it out, thedrumwallet.com. Bye.